started to think, like, maybe this could be a career. You know, people always talk about it like, you know, there's no stability, but this is my 30th year. So now I start to see how you can pan this thing off, not just being a drummer, but you can turn it into a business. Nothing stops. Consultations continue on the road. Clinics continue on my off days. When I'm on the road, I don't party, I'm hustling. Never give up, pursue it fully with your passion, and have serious authenticity to the music that you're playing. I grew up in church. My father was a preacher, so I was heavy into church all the time, playing for the choirs, playing for conventions and stuff, and that's how it started. My dad was a guitar player, and so that's how I got into different styles of music from my mother and father steering me, and then out of church and off we go to the story. From church is like where I got my training for the basics and fundamentals, you know, keeping time. The organist at the church, Al Ingram, rest in peace, he was a big influence. He used to always tap his hand on, I used to always watch it, so he put an internal click in my head. So then I started gigging around town in Philadelphia, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Patti LaBelle, things like that. And I got my big break, well, what I considered my big break at that time, playing with Aaliyah and Genuine, and then Usher, then Christina Aguilera came out. She was brand new as a new artist. And I think around that time I started to think, like, maybe this could be a career. You know, people always talk about it like, you know, there's no stability in that type of work, but this is my 30th year. The first part of it was going on the road. I mean, obviously, you're going on the road with an artist, you're playing with them, you go on tour. That was my story. I tell the story about Dom Familaro, and we did a clinic together, and he came to me, Dom Familaro, Omar Hakim. So we did a clinic, and I opened up, I do the clinic, and you know, I got kids coming up and everything. Afterwards, he came up to me and said, "Man, you're great. I love what you're doing, but when you're really ready to do this, let me know." And I was puzzled. I was like, what does that mean? He sat me down and he showed me how he expanded his ability to play drums to lessons around the world and books and catalogs and things. And it's like, oh my God. So now I start to see how you can pan this thing off, not just being a drummer, but you can turn it into a business. But nothing stops. Consultations continue on the road. Clinics continue on my off days. When I'm on the road, I don't party. I'm hustling. Dom Familaro, he was the example. Interesting story with Pearl. I've seemed like I've been with them forever. You know, it was my first drum set that I ever had before I even knew that I can get an endorsement or be represented or represent the company. So just by sound and preference, I'm trying to paint a picture that was the kit. They were believing in me. We always talked about a signature snare. We always talked about putting the concept together, and we came up with my snare, which is 12-ply wood, 10-ply maple, 2-ply gum wood in the center, double 4-to-5 bearing edges, die-cast hoops, 42 strand on the bottom. So this was kind of like my sound growing up at church, that I put it all together, powerful, thick, warm. You got the 42 strand on the bottom, which makes the snare sensitive, so you can tune it high, you can tune it low, you can tune it mid, and you still get the same powerful. So some words of advice. Number one, never give up. Never give up, please. Because you could be right there at the brink of your break. You could be right there of someone noticing you, and pursue it like your passion. Know your gear, know the players, know the playing field that you want to get involved in. If you want to be involved in touring, you want to be involved with sessions, you want to be involved with film. Kobe Bryant used to watch Michael Jordan. He used to watch how he played, watch how he moved. It's almost the same type of thing, like watching the field, who's moving how, who's musical director for who. So, and know that we're all human. You make mistakes, you run into the wall, but none of that stuff should dictate your progress in getting where you want to go. 2 songs away from my debut album being mixed. Me and my wife bought a house, I think it's 5 years ago, and I built a home studio. I have a full control room. I built a room inside a room in my 3-car garage. So it is set. I got the monitor coming down. I got everything 6 months before the pandemic hit. I had no idea what I was doing or why I was doing it at that point. And me and my wife set up, got in that studio. Bill, oh, we need something else. Call Sweetwater. All right, yeah, online. Okay, deliver. And we have a beautiful home studio. But I always viewed a connection with me and Sweetwater because I'm really connected to the next generation. I teach them and then I send them out. So I feel like I'm really touching the youth. That's why I do public speaking. That's why I go to schools. That's why I go to high schools and grade schools to really empower. So I feel like my connection to Sweetwater, I feel like is inspiring the next generation, man, and instilling in them, like, you can do this. I'm a church kid from Philadelphia. Look at me, I wear Method Man shirts. You know what I'm saying? And I have these opportunities to do this and encouraging them the right way, not just saying, hey, go practice paradiddles, practice your scales in the basement and you'll be okay. Like, we take them hand by hand and we say, hey, this is what your contract should look like. This is what you should look out for that. This is what you have to be equipped. Your endorsement should be this so that you can get top dollar for being self-contained. Like, we teach and give them the real thing. So that's, long story short, that's what I see that Sweetwater and BFM world could be a great force. And once you get rid of that fear and realize that he's going to take care of you, he's going to supply, and as long as your heart is in a good place, nobody can stop. My heart is really in it.